That's not why I am who I am.
But I'm just saying.
I just like getting freaky.
This is why you guys are having abortions. This is why, you're not desired. It's a lot of things that is happening.
I mean, I would say the amount of sex partners I have would indicate I am desired.
Men value women that they marry, not women that they have sex with. So women that they have sex with is usually just a throwaway.
I just heard like multiple just negative comments about men. Like
you
they like
do
to
realize
put
that men are responsible for 90% of the violent crime.
But you're sleeping with them, many of them.
Why do men want a woman with a low body count? And the answer is because we're not equal. And again, this is going to always be the fallacy and the flaw with feminism, because you're going to be fighting for an equality that does not exist.
I don't think we need to bring back shame to women. I think it's more so that being sexual and being promiscuous shouldn't be celebrated as much in our culture as it is.
Sure, but the prompt was specifically, is it more shameful, right? And you guys said yes. That is necessarily bringing more shame to women for this. Yeah. That's necessarily doing the thing you're opposed to.
Okay, well, I mean, I have a yes or no. So I'm not gonna say no, because I don't think that being sexually promiscuous is good for anyone. So that's why I said. That wasn't
the prompt. Okay. So I wanna chime in here and say that I grew up in a very conservative religion that shamed you for any type of sex outside of marriage. What did that lead to? What did shaming people about body count lead to in that kind of religious situation? People lied about it. Here's the natural truth about humans. All of us have sex, even when we pretend we don't have sex. We are all still having sex. I don't care if it's the 1950s or it's 2025. Every person is having sex. That's just the reality of it. Some people want to have sex less than others. Some people want to have sex more than others. And none of that is about who they are morally as a person. I am a person who happens to consider myself to be hypersexual. It's just part of who I am. It's always been part of who I am. And when I was 14, growing up in a very religious church that told me that who I was as a person was bad, that was really harmful for me as a person. I was depressed as a child. I was on antidepressants. I thought something was broken in myself. And when I finally left that religion and the shackles of the shame that had been placed on me by the patriarchy in that religion, I realized there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just this type of person. And here's the deal. People who like to have sex with a lot of people, we like to date other people who like to have sex with a lot of people. And people who don't like to have sex with a lot of people should date people who don't have sex with a lot of people. And it doesn't say anything about who they are as a person or their value as a human being or how good they are or how bad they are. It means nothing.
Be prepared for the consequences, just being honest. She said everybody has sex, for sure. But everybody doesn't know how you need to be having sex or whatnot. People don't need to know your freaky nature. That's the thing about it. See, we still got to have some type of mitigation onto the young people as to how much sex is being promoted. See, she said she was a very promiscuous and she was a freaky kid or whatnot. Here's the thing about it. Be prepared for the consequences of being a freaky kid, because what it's going to do is going to put you in a lot of freaky situations as you get older. So there is a thing to where you damn near have to protect yourself from yourself sometimes. And that's why we have to mitigate certain things in society to make sure that you can do that, because some people ain't ready for the worms that they want to open up sometimes.
It means nothing. It's just a bodily function that most people end up doing. And that's how I feel about sexuality. And if you want to get your freak on, get it on. And if you don't, keep it locked up in a chastity cage. I literally don't care. But it doesn't mean anything about you morally.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Prepare for the consequences.
I think a lot of people are using their personal experiences to define their reality. So you say, like, you grew up religious, they told you don't do this, so obviously you're going to do the exact opposite.
That's not why I am who I am.
But I'm just saying.
I just like getting freaky.
Sure, there could be a middle ground there, though. Like, I think having multiple sex partners, like loosely having sex with different men, not only is it dangerous because you can catch STDs, this is why you guys are having abortions, this is why, you're not desired. It's a lot of things that is happening.
I mean, I would say the amount of sex partners I have would indicate I am desired. I mean,
it is not the same, ma'am. How can you even do that? It works more on the man's side. If he's having a lot of sex, that means he's desired. You got a box and you got a rack. Most guys are still going to look at that and say, I want to get inside that. So that's where a lot of women don't even understand the value that they have. They think that they're just like a guy, so they feel like if I'm having a lot of sex, I'm just like a guy. When it's completely different when it goes to the feminist, the female side, and the male side when it comes to how we seek sex.
Seems like are you getting?
But you also just said men
but men value women that they marry, not women that they have sex with. So women that they have sex with is usually just a throwaway.
But again, men who like to have sex like to be with women who like to have sex. So they actually just partner together. Like that's the reality.
I would disagree.
They just partner together.
I just personally feel like you guys probably don't ever listen to men. Men like women with a low body count. You could just listen to them and they'll tell you this out of their mouth. You don't have to go looking for this.
That's a fact.
But again, this is the conversation. The men I like to date are like me, and they like to have lots of partners because we are good in bed. And we're
That's a weirdo society. If she talking about sex swinger clubs, that type of vibe, those dudes are weirdos. I'm just being honest. Most of the time, a guy's not gonna want to see his girl being busted down by other guys, especially in the same act. Guarantee she part of a freaky society, and they probably enjoy that type of behavior. Men ultimately do not want their women to be busted down, ran through. A guy rather not know it if it has happened.
experience.
But you guys are always speaking
and those
for
men want to have a woman who they own their virginity.
You're
Great,
always
you can have
speaking
them.
for the exception and not
Godspeed.
the rule, though. Why do you guys in all of your arguments today? You represented the exception and not the rule.
I'm asking why do men prefer women with lower body counts? Is it just a name,
because
or is
these
there
are
a
the
reason?
women that have to bear their
Because
children.
ignorance is bliss, and they don't want to be
These are the women
compared.
that have to bear their children.
Oh, you guys seem to have a problem.
Hold on, I want to piggyback on what the question that she asked, why do men care about that? Back in the day, we didn't have the technology to find out who the child belonged to. So to ensure that he would get with a woman who was untouched, which would be a virgin, then he know that the child is his.
A little bit with men, like just comments that you're making, but yet you.
I have no problem with men. I'm straight.
Well,
I
you-
love men.
I
The
just
good
heard.
ones.
I just heard like multiple just negative comments about men. Like
You
they like
do
to put
realize
their.
that men are responsible for 90% of the violent crime.
But you're
You talk-
sleeping with many of them.
Yeah,
so
but
do you
we
like?
still,
many as we can
we,
fit in.
we
Rub it- put it in
still
the
love men.
90% of the violent crime, that still does not represent all men. That still would be the
Exactly. That's my
minority
point, though, is
of
that
men.
it doesn't
So
represent
men
all
are
men. None of
awesome.
us
Men
are
are great. They
against-
protect you just like they
We're not
assault
anti-men.
women. They protect women. They fight wars so you don't have to.
Other men. They
This sister is cooking exactly. The men that you don't actually appreciate are the ones that's behind the scenes that's keeping your ass safe. The sister is cooking because the pink-haired ladies, they don't understand it. They say, oh, we like men. No, you still like the bad boys, the ones who probably ain't doing nothing for you, ain't trying to help you out. But the guys who are the great guys in society that's behind the scenes, the guys who you don't like, those are the ones that you ain't paying attention to.
protect you from generally another man. So enough with that.
Okay, that is protecting whom?
But I'm saying
Everybody's
I'm not against
protect-
men.
Okay, but
You
they're
literally
doing
just
it
put
to
words in my
protect
mouth
their.
saying, "Oh, I'm anti-man." I'm not.
I didn't
I'm
say you were
straight.
anti-man.
I f- men. A lot of them.
That don't mean nothing.
I didn't say you
No,
were
I'm serious.
anti-man. I'm pretty
I'm so
sure
tired
that
of
we
feminists
all
being labeled
love
as
men.
anti-man. We're not. In fact, I think feminists help men because we're trying to relieve a little bit of pressure off of them. Like,
But they're
I'm
not asking
anti-man.
for that. They would rather you just respect them. They would just rather respect. They don't care about none
Just
of the
because
things
we don't
you have
worship
to
men
offer.
doesn't mean that we don't like them. I don't put them on a pedestal. I don't treat them like they're princes.
should
I'm not
be
like,
on a
oh, what
pedestal.
great,
They
amazing
they
dudes.
are
I
awesome.
like men just fine. I'm unfortunately straight too.
Question on this side, for especially for those of you who love.
No respect for the societies that was built, the backs of men or whatnot. See, that's why a lot of people feel like it need to be a reset. There needs to be a form of a reset to where we go back to struggle, survival times, and we will see who is needed, and we're going to see who is tested, and we're going to see who can follow.
Of men, right?
Yeah.
What can you tell me something you love about men?
Yeah, some of them have great sense of humor. Some of them are super helpful and funny. And I mean, I like men the same reasons I like women. These are all just human traits. You're funny, you're smart, you're good looking, you take care of me. I have girlfriends like that. I'm not by side.
But we're not talking about
friends
yeah,
and girls.
we're talking because you said that a lot of people think feminists hate men. I want to know, without talking about women, only talking about men, what do you like about men? About their uniqueness of being. I'm asking the men lovers.
I guess
The freaks.
I'm trying to think about what makes men unique, though, because when I like a man, they're funny, they're smart, they're good looking. But I could describe a woman with these terms.
Okay,
too.
so you don't think that there are things about men that are unique necessarily?
Well, I mean, I'm born straight, so I can't say like I choose to be attracted to men. Like this is how I was born. You know what I mean?
Man, Boma tweaking, bruh. You cannot tell me that a man's brain is wired different than yours. We do not think the same. I don't care what we can get the best of the best. We are wired differently. We're going to think differently. we think about different things. We put different things on the forefront. Granted, you have men out there that are not the best at being a man, but I'm just here to tell you, men are very different from women. Women are different from men. That don't mean one is greater than the other one, but we definitely balance each other out in different ways, and sometimes the opposite don't appreciate it because it feels different than what you have to offer.
And so, like, I can't tell you what that's about, but I can say that I like men because they're funny, they're smart, some of them. They can protect me if I need to sometimes. Like, I understand why you like men, but I think you can all understand that they have traits that are not good, right? Like, you have men you don't like, right? You know that not all men are great.
Of course. And I want to know what you like about men too, without PG.
PG, right. So I would say a lot of my good friends are men. I think men are smart and funny, just like she was saying. I think that I'm sexually attracted to men. I think they're pretty much the exact same as women. But if I were choosing like to hang out with someone one-on-one, I'd probably pick a woman because I'd probably be safer because they probably wouldn't be trying to, I don't know, have sex with me as an ulterior motive.
So it sounds
but you just praised about being a freak and you love to have sex. This makes no sense. I'm not trying to make this video about like cosmetics, but I'm not gonna lie. The woman, I guess, with the black dress on the feminine side, the Edward Scissorhand boots are egregious. Every time I look at them, I'm just like, I'm in awe just seeing them. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit.
like a lot of,
But I mean, I just don't see men as like a special category that they need to be worshipped in some separate way. Like, oh, men are really the reason why I'm here. I think the reason why I'm here is women. I tend to worship women more than men.
But don't you know that men allow you to have your rights? Because if it really came down to it, they can just overpower you and take all of your rights.
Actually, I have rights because of women. I have rights because women
You have
who
rights
came before
because
me.
of men.
No, I have rights because of women. No, I'm here because of women.
Okay, and if they declare war on you because of your rights, what happens? You all die.
Okay, you're having a hypothetical conversation about something that hasn't happened. I'm having a real conversation about the fact that the reason why I'm able to vote is not because of men, but because of hard-working women.
And
this woman tripping. It is men out there that actually care about your thoughts and your opinions, and they care about you being valued as an equal human being. So they end up fighting against other men behind the scenes, opposed to you thinking that women are the ones that's actually fighting for that. No, there's men that actually care, because if men want to be full tyrants, they could take over and have full control.
Wait, who allowed it?
A few good men.
Who allowed these things to happen?
A few good men.
Not a few. A lot of good men. A lot of good men. Why do you think there are no woman civilizations? Because men will take them down.
If you create gender into class, then men are also pedophiles and rapists and criminals, by your logic. You realize that, right?
Yes, but guess what? That is the minority of them.
I would say men are not rapists. Some men who are bad do bad things.
The minority. Most men are not
because
criminals.
I am not treating gender like a class.
Right.
I understand that police officers and soldiers are more often men, but that doesn't mean that men who are not those things suddenly get to be like, actually, I'm doing forced doctrine too. No, you've got a small group of young men who are given fiat authority by a bunch of state men to enact rights that all of us agreed on. That's how democracy works. If you want to treat gender like a class, then you have to say men are soldiers and men are rapists. And I think this is not true. Some men are rapists and some men are soldiers.
Well, it just sounds...
What is she talking about? Like, literally, she just said a lot of nothing. She said all that just to say that some are some. So you're not saying all of anything. That was a waste of time.
I mean, like, so if a man tells you to do something, you're gonna do it. Are you a woman
if he's
who falls
my
in
husband,
line?
absolutely. Yes,
If he's your husband,
I'm here to
serve. If he's your husband. Yeah, that makes sense. But let's talk about just some random ass man.
If a random man just asked me to do something.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
no,
you just a minute
what?
ago
Like,
said, like,
what?
oh, men, if they could come in and just do this, like, they can take our rights from us. It's like, yeah, that's why we're here.
But
We're
that's
here
just
make
to show
sure
you
doesn't
that
happen.
men are not your
you
enemy.
make it sound
That's
like
all
I'm supposed
saying.
to fall in line.
But you guys are, everything you're saying is because of the men, because of the patriarchy.
That's not what patriarchy doesn't refer to men.
Men are not your enemy.
Yeah, no,
They're not-
patriarchy is a system.
The woman would follow her father if she was still under the covering of her father, outside of just following a whole bunch of other men. She would follow the tribe that she's in with strong leaders. See, we're in a free society now where women can be around whoever they want to be around. But we're not telling women to just listen to any and everybody, because that's why you have guys in your life that's going to give you good guidance. But to think that all men are the enemies, that's not the case.
I know, but I said because of the patriarchy. Men are not your enemy, is what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that if men didn't want you to have rights, you wouldn't have them. That's what I'm telling you.
So they could be pieces of like
that just proves that they're not pieces of because you have rights.
But how long have we had
all men are pieces?
How long have we had them? How long?
I can say the same thing about black people.
About
I'm not over here
105
complaining
years
about
with-
being black in America.
Facts.
14 countries out of 190 countries, women actually have rights. And what those rights are, there's like a whole chart, but only 14. Like if you go anywhere else in the world, your rights can be taken away just because of the body you have. And like we're very grateful to be in this country where we do have rights, but we've only had them for 105 years. We have to defend those rights against the bad men that are openly talking about repealing the 19th and like women should stay in the kitchen. Like it's not all men.
It's all.
This woman Goofy, she brought up other countries. Who you think defending the rights to fight against those other countries? It's men. What is she talking about?
I have great men in my life. I love them. I just hung out with one of them last night, and it's like they're so caring. I do love men.
No,
I
you
just don't love all men. I hate abusive men, and good men know that when we're talking about them.
Can I ask
This woman probably beat her girlfriend up, just being honest.
question? What would it take for you guys to no longer be feminism, to say, feminists, to say, hey, we have all equal rights now, we have everything we need. When does the movement stop? Because it seems like it never stops.
It's not going to stop because they now have already overturned Roe v. Wade. We've seen a right that we fought for and won taken back. So now we have to come back to the fight.
They overturned it to give it to the states, which means the people within those states can vote on how they want to do things.
Well, then it's not a right. If it can be stopped at an invisible line, then it's not a right anymore.
It was
and that's
never
why we're
supposed
here
to be
fighting
there
for
in
those
the
rights.
first place. It's not in the Constitution. It was never supposed to be there in the first place.
Neither was the women's right to vote or anything else. Like
These women just want to trash can their kids, man. Just being honest, they just want to they want to be able to have the choice to just be freaks like long collar lady. Just want to be a freak. That's it.
Personally, very controversial. I don't think women should vote because we get women like this that say all of these crazy things.
You don't vote then, right?
No, I do vote.
Why? Lead by example. This is what I'm saying. You're all here using your voice to tell me that you don't want one.
I have to combat women like you, so I have to vote.
No, you're using your
You
voice
guys
to
are
tell me you don't
always
want
on
a
the wrong
voice.
side
So
of
go
issues.
home.
That's why men are more logical, because you guys are always on the wrong side of issues. That's what it is.
The thing about it, most of these women are probably going to follow a good man in their life. So even if they are voting, hopefully they're voting behind the man that's actually leading them in a good direction.
You don't even know why you're doing the things that you're doing. You just do things, and then you blame men.
Let me tell this, like, I'm going to say this right now, and I hope this gets on camera, and let me say this. Being on the side of a woman's right to vote is never the wrong side of an issue. Every person here is a human being. Voting is a human right. I won't sit here and have a conversation about repealing human rights and pretend that that's a normal conversation to be having. Women deserve the right to vote because we are human beings. We deserve to be treated like humans, and we are not more emotional than men. When a man throws a remote at a television and breaks it after a football game, then have a conversation with me about who's more emotional.
The other thing, though, about the voting thing, though, for me, is that this country was founded because of taxation without representation. And so if women don't vote, then I'm not going to pay then we shouldn't pay taxes, right? Because that's taxation without representation.
Yeah, you don't have to work either. That's the point. Your man will pay the taxes. That is exactly the point. You won't work.
What world?
Okay.
I don't know.
I actually wanted to answer your question. You asked about body count, coming back to body count, which was the last prompt. And you said, why do men want a woman with a low body count? And the answer is because we're not equal. And again, this is going to always be the fallacy and the flaw with feminism, because you're going to be fighting for an equality that does not exist. I'm not saying better or worse. I'm saying we are different. Now, it depends on what you want intimacy for. If you want to be out there doing it with everybody, you absolutely have your right to do that. Please be loud and proud. We want to see you coming. The men love women like that to have fun with. However, when you talk about love, when you talk about marriage, when you talk about a committed relationship, most of us, when you get to your old age, usually you have one, if you're lucky, like me, two great loves. You don't think about the string of casual sex that has been promoted and think of that like, man, I really got it all in. Most of us don't. You're free to do that if you want to, but I'm just saying, as we age, what's going to really matter is the relationships, the marriages, the families, the relationships that meant something, the intimacy that meant something. Yeah. You can do as much as you want to with whoever you want to, but I do agree the way casual sex is promoted now, it is hurting us. It may be fun in the moment, but it's going to hurt us, and we're all going to pay the price for it.
Thank you.
She hit it in the moment, and I'm guessing this is the end of it. She hit it on the head. It's all for the moment. People live in the now. It feels good. I just want to be so sexually freaky liberated. all that liberation is going to go to your brain and explode because you can't handle all of it. And it's temporary, man. You can bust so many times where it's like the bust don't even feel like a comfortable bust, and it don't even feel like a great bust because you're just doing it too much. And then you start realizing that the things that you found satisfaction in isn't that satisfactory. So now you got to find a new high and a new high. And now you can find yourself in a weird, precarious situation. And it could be dangerous. So we can't just sit right here and promote that to everybody because most people don't want to do that. Most females want to have good sex with one guy. The guy that they really like, they want to get with that guy, and that guy is going to ravage her body, touch her everywhere, kiss her everywhere. That's what usually most women actually want. The ones who become freaks, guess what? There's a category for you too. I do believe in the world we live in, there's going to be a sector for everything because everything has to exist with each other. This is a duality-based system. So everything is going to have to be in this society. It can't be all good. It can't be all bad. It's going to be somewhat balanced, and it can be imbalanced at the same time. But knowing that there's going to be people who are going to be extra freaky out here, you just got to know that you need to avoid that if that's not meant for you. You're going to have some people it's meant for them. They going to do it, but you might have to suffer different forms of consequences while you become extra freaky during your journey or whatnot. Some people make it out of it, some people don't. So nothing's new under the sun. This shit been going on back in the day too. That's why we do have so many forms of, whether you believe in religion or not, different types of texts that give certain warnings about certain things and certain behaviors because they already understood what brings out the worst in people. Man, people already done studied people for generations. We're very predictable, which is why we live in a capitalist society that can, inform some type of control on people because they know our triggers. They know what we like, but the thing about it, are you strong enough to break out of those triggers? If they're not really benefiting you. See, this woman with these bedazzled boots on, little white lady, she's fighting for having all this sex, but it's like, is it even benefiting her? Is she's reaping the benefits from just, women just want to be like guys, bro. I'm just being honest. Some of these, they just want to do what guys can do. They want the thrill of it. And guess what? All guys ain't even having sex. The ones who really getting it, man, that's a whole nother category. Whole nother tier of guy who is busting out multiple, chicks, and then just indiscriminately, like the other lady was saying, just because you can do it don't mean you can't do it as well, because you might produce some situations you might not need to be in as well, even on the guy side. But these conversations ain't gonna never end. But I'm not gonna lie, man. Hearing how the two black women spoke, that turned me on. I'm just being honest. I appreciate hearing that type of narrative because you just get more of that family vibe, nurturing vibe, and just somebody you can actually build a real life with. Opposed to, I told myself, I don't want no freaky ass chick. I don't. Not for a relationship. Now, if I'm just freaking around, okay, that's cool for the moment. But for a long term, no, you don't want you to be overly freaky. But guess what she gonna do? Her freakiness might send her somewhere else because her emotions is now wrapped into it as well. She gonna be so freaky. Let's say you can't keep up with her stamina. You got a nympho. Boy, you better run for the hills. I'm telling you. Hey, if your sex drive high enough to match it, cool. But guess what? Women can, when it comes to sex, they drive sometimes can be different if it's turned all the way up. Opposed to ours, we need a little recharge time. So I don't want no overly freaky ass woman out here, man, about trying to freak me out, trying to drain me for everything I got. Why I want to be with somebody who want to drain me from my pockets, drain me from my time, and drain my nutsack? Bro, that's a mean ass combination. Ain't no goddamn Duracell bunny. Make sure y'all like the video. I'll have this link in the description. Great conversation. I do wish that the conversation could have spread amongst a few more women on the feminine side or whatnot, but I think everybody still had their points or whatnot, but I wish it could have spread on a little bit more. For the feminist ladies, just get help. And that's the best thing I can say. Y'all like the video, comment below. This is your guy JayBReacts, and until next time, y'all, peace.